And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our second speaker. He is the CEO of Go Nomading, and he'll be digging into the future of work for us with a very interesting title. It's a trap. Move on. Kevin Cottam, welcome.
Hello.
It seems that we have a very solid connection. Kevin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. You are trapped. I am trapped. We are trapped. This is a leg hold trap used to capture and retain animals, typically allowing entry and not exit. Luckily and thankfully, these are completely outlawed today. What if, though, metaphorically speaking, your mindset, mobility, and leadership were caught or retained in a trap? What could you do? And what would you like to do about it? How would this make you feel? I welcome you also to spend some time in the chat box just responding to some of my comments if you wish while I continue to talk. Let's go on a little journey. I'd like to introduce you to a new perspective, a fresh perspective, integrating the nomadic culture and also wisdom, as well as with contemporary leadership, helping you to get out of your trap so that you are able to move on and to be able to move into the new future of work. How do I know that you're trapped? It's because I have been trapped many, many times in my life and perhaps still are in some ways. Traps are everywhere. Either you or someone else or another entity are never not laying or recreating or creating traps. This is limiting the true value of your leadership. You can be seduced, tripped, tracked, fooled, surprised, and even fall into a trap without even knowing. And sometimes that happens. Some of the common traps you might be familiar with are relationship traps. Relationship traps are such as you in a good turned bad relationship, and then how do you get out of it? A stakeholder trap is how do you have a trap that is in too many stakeholders, and how do you release them? Or you have a career trap. A career trap in a position or a profession or a leadership or a company for 10, 20, 30 years. January 2017, I realized while attending the Skate Canada National Championships in Ottawa, Canada, that I was trapped in a former career of over 30 years as a figure skating choreographer for elite athletes, no world and Olympic champions, including those from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. Even though those were fantastic and very successful years, I was the flavor of the month. I was continuing to do research and also to do my directing of multi-million-dollar holiday and ice productions, the Winter Olympic Games closing ceremonies, and a variety of TV specials, award-winning as they were. But something inside of me was there. I had moved on, so I had thought. But something said to me and kept repeating, what if you're not so successful in this current job, you will be able to go back to skating? Was that a trap? Yes, I confess it was a trap. I was caught and retained in a delusion of past success. And why? Because I hadn't even stepped on the ice or even watched skating 10 years. I was irrelevant. And none of us want to feel irrelevant. Have you ever had this experience? Or someone else had this experience? When I left the ice rink, I finally felt I could breathe a breath of fresh air. I felt that my feet were released from the skate traps, and something inside of me said, I am free, move on. And so I did. I moved on past my skate trap to research and to write my book called Nomadic Mindset, Never Settle for Too Long. My research was with nomadic cultures in Mongolia, Morocco, Namibia, and Kenya, and as well as with over 100 different executives in a variety of different sectors. My premise for the book is that we have become too narrow in our thinking and we are working from an old operating system. And if we want to expand and to be able to use the ability to be mobile and to be agile survive and thrive in the VUCA world, we must find a new operating system. One of the traps that might be retaining you or your organization is mindset. Most of us are working from an old, outdated mindset, operating system, which is not completely relevant with today, the complexities, the challenges, and the realities. There is too much stagnation and not enough mobility in the old mindset, which will limit the future of work. And also, it is even being pushed by the digital transformation. This will help us to move on. Digital transformation, in many ways, is demanding that we have a new operating system. And many people have moved into this new operating system, and many have not. January 2020, I find myself continuing my research in Namibia with the Himba and the Bushmen of the Kalahari. Very, very exciting. I went on a short safari in Etosha Park with my driver, George, and also my Carolyn, my photographer. George stops at one point. He says, "Look over there behind that dense bushes and trees. You'll be able to see a family of steenboks." And I look, and I can't see. I ask him again, "Where are they?" And I say, look, and I still can't see. I ask him, "What do you see that I can't see?" And he says, "I look for what doesn't fit in the picture." I'll repeat that. I look for what doesn't fit in the picture. This got me thinking about identifying traps. We see what we want to see and not the unseen. George's statement, "I look for what doesn't fit in the picture," is an invitation to seek opportunities. And this takes a mobile mindset. Has this ever happened to you? Or what do you think? Do you ever look for what doesn't fit in the picture? When speaking about mobility, we cannot dismiss the word nomad. Today, we talk about digital nomads. Most people think of it as a physical and geographical mobility. But this is true, but it is actually not fully the truth. October 2017, I find myself in Mongolia and the chill of winter is in the air. I am to meet Bakrel Bat, the head of the Branding Council of Mongolia, in a yurt in the Mongolian steppes. I ask her, what is the true meaning of nomad? And she looks at me with her sparkling eyes and her radiant smile from ear to ear, and she says in a very deep and sultry voice, she says, "It's not what you think." And I go, whoa, I'm curious now. Let us look at what is the actual meaning of nomad. From the dictionary, it means a group of people or a tribe which move from place to place without a permanent home to find new pastures. I lean in, and Bakrel says, "It is the movement of the mind. It is the movement of the mind. It is the movement of the mind." This is the true essence of the new operating mindset and also the nomadic mindset. It is an intersection of what neuroscientists say about what humans have, and that is 3 brains, 3 minds. We have the head, which is the cognition and creativity. We have the heart for empathy and community. We also have the gut for intuition and spontaneity. This is a very important aspect of this. I am very, very excited about this because this mobility from mind to mind will allow you to expand your mindset. And this will open you up to the field of possibilities by identifying your traps as well as your mindset. But what is the nomadic mindset again? I have been speaking about a variety of behaviors, and this avatar of this includes a variety of behaviors which I will continue to share with you, which is open, agility, adaptability, community-focused, collaboration. And most of all, what nomads I found were able to do all at once. They're able to be still, alert, listen, observe, be curious, and intuitive all at one time. And this brings me to another aspect. As a former athlete, and also as a MoveON and leadership coach, I'm particularly interested in the leadership and philosophy of sport in Norway. Why? Because I believe that they look for what doesn't fit in the picture, and they also have this new mindset of the nomadic mindset. Perhaps some of it's coming from the Sami. What they look for is the whole human. They look at developing self-responsibility, self-leadership, community orientation, development of their talent, and most of all, the happiness of the individual. And this is obviously working because they are not in the medals only trap. They stand at the top of the medal board of the Winter Olympics many, many times. And how do I know the nomadic mindset is the mindset of the future? In my polls, with my webinars, as well as with meetings and communications with executives, leaders, HR professionals, managers, they all say that a nomadic mindset is what is needed more in organizations today. So what is the future of work? The future of work is mobility. Mobility is about removing borders for innovation, decision-making, cognitive dexterity. It is allowing and inviting, encouraging a cross-pollination of ideas between departments and positions, as well as multiple stakeholders. It is also about creating a circular, inclusive, and diverse, sustainable culture. I invite every leader here today to activate mobility now, to look for what doesn't fit in the picture, to flow with the movement of the mind, to free the nomadic mindset, and to exit your traps with a smile. And let that little voice inside of you say, something inside of me says, move on.
You very much, Kevin, for that very thought-provoking presentation. Again, I'm reminding everyone that the Q&A is there. Please feel free to ask questions, comment what you see on the chat. But I have to say that this speech of yours did strike a chord in me, having moved on from Canada, where you are now, to the Nordics, where I'm now here. But you know, I accept very much your presentation of a mobile mindset, a nomadic mindset. However, I've seen it come under a lot of criticism in the corporate world and in the elite sport world. You know, focus on what you do best. Be the best in the world at this little area. Don't look anywhere else. And which seems to be an anti-mobile approach to success. Could you perhaps, drawing on your experiences in elite sports and now as a leader and leadership coach in corporations, give us maybe one example, a concrete example of how going mobile is actually a way to higher performance?
Okay, so I can give you a conversation about that, a concrete example, and that is, it's about H&M. For example, the founder, he went from one thing, from delivering cheese on a bicycle to making pens, to selling pens, and then into the fashion industry, constantly moving on, retaining and settling for a while, and then moving on, because you need to reap the benefit, but there needs to be this expansion. What happens is when we focus internally on one thing, we stop seeing what is out there. We stop seeing other opportunities. And we need to be able to do that. In organizations, especially today, if they're not going to expand, they will not grow. Look at digital transformation. It is huge. And the people that are not being digitally transformed are lagging behind in their successes. They're staying on their old laurels. Look at war, for example, is another concrete. That is thought of in the old mindset that and I think that that's really important, that we understand that we should be past that by now, but we aren't.
Thank you, Kevin. We are moving on, but keeping very much in mind all of those insights. Thank you.
Thank you.